the Great Pyramid of Kola. Despite many claiming that the ancient pyramids of Giza are the largest structures created by an ancient civilization, the truth is that is hardly the case. Located in Mexico and built by the ancient Aztec civilization is a pyramid so massive that many living on the structure believed it to be nothing more than a naturally made mountain. Known as the Great Pyramid of Kola, one of the largest structures created in the Americas, along with being a massive Aztec temple that rivals every other in creation, the structure has a base 4 times larger than that of the Giza pyramids and almost twice the total volume. The pyramid is located in the city of Puebla, Mexico, and is known as the world's largest pyramid in construction. Researchers believe that the pyramid was constructed back in 300 BC, though many accounts believe it to be far older, in honor of their ancient god known as Quetzalcoatl. For 1,000 years, the pyramid was used as a place of worship before being abandoned by the population for a reason not totally known by researchers today. Considering the site was abandoned and no maintenance was provided, this left the humidity of the air and the never-ending downpour of rain to reclaim the mud and adobe brick used in its construction back into the formation of soil to be used for new tropical greenery. This led to the pyramid's mountain appearance, though continues to hold undisturbed layers beneath that of the layers of mud and brick on the surface. Today, excavations on the site cannot be accomplished due to an old Spanish church of Christianity built atop the structure that locals refuse to allow to be demolished to study the structure underneath, leaving it as one of the biggest mysteries of the ancient Aztec civilization. The Discovery of Globsters. Oftentimes, it is no surprise to find a number of strange ocean life washing up on the shores of beaches from around the world. Additionally, many of these strange species coming from the ocean can range in all sorts of shapes and sizes, from dolphins to whales to sharks, and even to swarms of flooding jellyfish all across the beach. Interestingly enough, there are a number of cases in which impossible to understand species have washed up on beaches all around the world that are referred to as globsters. Globsters are described as being large white globs of animals washed up that have been reported as sometimes still moving or completely dead. This has led to many referring to these large masses as that of different kinds of sea monsters, though researchers quite usually believe they're nothing more than a form of mistaken identity. One of the most convincing cases, however, comes from an encounter of a globster referred to as El Trunco. Back on the 24th of October in 1924, a strange and unexplainable monster washed ashore after witnesses combing the beaches claimed to have seen an even more impossible to explain scenario playing before them. Out in the waves close to the shore, there appeared to be 2 large killer whales working in unison to attack an even larger creature in the ocean that not a single person standing watching could explain. The ocean monster was described as having a long and massive trunk similar to that of an elephant, a thick white fur wrapped around its entire body to that of a white polar bear, and the bloated and massive body of a small whale. Given the massive trunk extending from the face of the white furry beast, many gave the creature the name of Trunco, and believed it to be a strange monster unknown by researchers of the time. Despite the body rotting away on the beaches for more than 10 days with a wide variety of people visiting the site, not a single scientist or researcher went to the body, and none of it was preserved for future study. This has led many to believe that perhaps the creature was nothing more than a large whale and a case of mistaken identity. Given the fact that nothing could have been preserved of the location, however, it is hard to assume that the creature was a case of mistaken identity, and the witnesses that recount the tale say overwhelmingly so that that wasn't the case. Unfortunately, it appears that we may never know what the creature really looked like and where it came from, marking it as an impossible to explain ocean mystery. Today, many cryptid websites on the internet have removed the Trunco creature and accepted the rather half-hearted explanation of an old bloating carcass as the cause of the sighting, despite numerous witness claims more than detailing the strangeness of the creature. Today, there continues to be a number of globster sightings and strange white-washed-up carcasses around the world that fail to fit the normal descriptions and body types of well-known oceanic species. Encounters with the Aswang. Definitely seen as the strangest creature encountered, the Aswangs are an almost impossible to categorize and understand mysterious creature that has left many locals across the Philippines terrified for their lives. Given the fact that the country is often torn in tribal warfare and other terrorizing incidents surrounding actions of the Filipino government and revolutions involving the people, this has led to a number of stories surrounding the areas of the Philippines housing people that are not quite human. According to families at the center of revolutions, they have reported that on the outskirts of forests located away from larger population centers, there appears to be a grouping of inhuman creatures that are impossible to explain and are a great threat to the Filipino people. These creatures are known as the Aswangs and have been described as appearing human and establishing small human towns away from society. Although they might appear completely normal at first, the creature is described as being completely mute in human form and will run to hide when seen. If they get away, they will begin to transform and grow large wings similar to that of a bat and can separate from their lower halves as they fly through the air. Interestingly enough, urban legends surrounding the creature have spread all across the Philippines, including stories of people having children with the creatures that are born with special powers or being able to encounter these creatures in hidden alleys in the city to be worked with as they promise to fight you for their own personal treasures. This has led many revolutionists across the country claiming to be descending from that of the Aswangs or using the tactic to inspire fear by claiming many of their freedom fighters are Aswangs. The Cursed Valleys of Antarctica. What many people might not be aware of is the fact that the driest place on Earth happens to rest in a valley in Antarctica that is referred to by research scientists as the McMurdo Dry Valleys. These areas are so dry that the humidity of the area is next to non-existent, and the moisture of the entire valley is lower than that of most deserts from around the world. This leaves the McMurdo Dry Valleys with the inability to form ice and so are seen as nothing but a vast expanse of dusty land and dirt that is impossible to maintain. This leaves the area in a nearly constant sandstorm as the wind in the region is referred to as katabatic winds and forms nowhere else on the face of the earth. This wind is caused when the extremely cold temperatures of the surrounding ice move down a nearby slope and into the McMurdo Dry Valleys, forcing the speed of the wind to build up and reach some of the highest wind speeds ever recorded in the world, maintaining an average speed of 200 miles per hour the entire year. This has led a large number of people from all kinds of backgrounds to begin forming their own theories as to how this strange and unsustainable valley has formed, leading to a wide variety of peculiar explanations for the nature of the valley's inhospitable climate, weather, and lack of moisture. Such explanations have included a lasting curse in the area that forbids anyone or anything from ever building any kind of habitable structure. Interestingly enough, this seems to have some merit, as there appears to be no research bases that have been established in this area despite there being no moving ice or glaciers of any kind. Additionally, some have even pointed to perhaps an artificial cause to the area's strange properties, such as that of underground power sources preventing the buildup of ice and vaporizing the surrounding humidity. Although nothing has been proven in regards to the fantastical urban legends surrounding the nature of this valley, it does appear to be a continued point of topic for research scientists still attempting to better understand the climate and ecosystem of Antarctica as they are stationed out in its snowy expanse. Encountering ghost ships. Although this might not necessarily be an instance of a sea monster, Encounters with this strange paranormal and supernatural occurrence has left many wondering if darker forces are responsible for the terrible fate of those of whom have went missing in the area of the Bermuda Triangle in the past. Many have reported seeing a strange apparition on the seas as that of a ghostly appearance of the USS Cyclops, one of the largest US Navy ships to have vanished within the Bermuda Triangle many years ago. Although encounters with ghost ships in the past have been experienced all around the world, with strange transparent ships housing a ghostly crew, the sightings of the USS Cyclops has left many wondering as to how and why these strange events are occurring in the first place. Roughly 100 years ago, in March of 1918, the USS Cyclops, with a crew of more than 300 people and thousands of tons of supplies on board, went missing without a trace. Not a single call, SOS, recovered debris or any evidence of the fate of the ship was ever found, leaving many to believe that a far more supernatural occurrence had taken place and was responsible for this strange disappearance. Today, there have been a number of sightings of the old US Navy ship that have been made by a variety of sailors in the region, of whom claim that the ship sails as a ghost on the seas, completely unaware of its fate more than 100 years ago.